Now, now, excuse me. Uh, verse 10 tells us they put on their robe and they prophesied against him to them. Before them. Now, and Zedekiah, this is what is going to be a clicker here because it has something to do with a vision that God gave me when I was in Danville, Illinois, pulling me much closer and showing you that I was part of Bible prophecy. And Zedekiah, verse First King, chapter 22, verse 11. And Zedekiah, the son of Shema, made him horns of iron. He made him horns of iron. If you go to the prophecy of Daniel, Daniel 7, you will see in Daniel 7 when the CIA went in to Babylon, went over there to Iraq, he went in, he had horns, there was 10 horns followed him with him. This is the part of Daniel in Kings when he said he made him horn of iron, and he said, thus said the Lord, with these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou hast consumed them. Isn't that what horns, these horns of iron, were spoken of right here in Kings? Daniel chapter 7, Revelation chapter 12, Revelation chapter 13, and Revelation chapter 17 was these horns speaking of. As you know, the horns is what rams and oxen fight with. So these horns that he made was military fighting forces, but he said they was going to make them horns of iron. This takes you back to the prophecy of Daniel when Daniel spoke to the king and told him the powers of God to interpret dreams and visions. Nebuchadnezzar, it comes from God, and there was a man standing before Nebuchadnezzar, which was dreadful and terrible, who had a head made of fine gold, chest of silver, shoulders and arms of silver, and chest of brass, and feet of iron, legs of iron, and pot clay. These was the horns. The gold and silver is wealth. With the gold being the most precious to it symbolized the greatest and the wealthiest nation upon the face of this earth, which would become the prophecy of the United States of America, being the wealthiest nation upon the earth. He become the head of gold standing before Nebuchadnezzar. But as the shoulders supports the head, the shoulders and the arm of silver becomes the lesser wealthiest nation, which is connected onto this body of a great superpower, the United Nations, who support the United States of America. This is the way it is. We can't deny this here. And I have to speak these things because I'm going to show you a part in here when I get through, when I read this here. Well, the brass is the military general because we call the brass, which is that, we call them military general. They is over the military fighting forces, which is the horns of iron. Now, the iron, God spoke to us in Daniel chapter 2, legs of iron. These are the horns of iron which Israel will use, because during the range of the prophecy of the king, they didn't have these here heavy equipment that man could set up in these tanks and kill people and fly up in the air high in aircraft. They didn't have these horns made of iron. They couldn't do this. But through the technology they created through these colleges, which they ate, taken off the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, they created and manufactured these vehicles, armored vehicles, to protect their people when they commit a major kill. Think they're winning wars, but God had placed them for correction, spoken of in the prophecy of Habakkuk. He placed them for correction, but he was letting them fly over in these vehicles. It tell you, in Habakkuk, they flew over like an eagle hastening to eat. These were the horns of iron. These were the horns of iron that this prophet talked to him, Israel, and told him that he was going to push Syria. He was going to fight over there for these things, but he didn't tell him how. But since it pleased him to hear this here, the war, this king liked to hear that he was going to do this here, but he didn't think it was not him, it was somebody else going to do this here. Now, and because he told him that he would push the Syrian until thou have consumed them. In other words, he's going to take over their country, make it one world order, democratize the system, because Israel didn't want to hear anything about winning. He was going to make the habitat of Abraham the caldron where you slaughter people that do not agree with your policies. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth-Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king. Now, and the messenger, the 13th verse 30, and the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah, M-I-C-A-I-A, spake unto him, saying, Behold now, the word of the prophets declare good unto the king. With 1 mile, let the word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak which is good. And Micaiah said, in other words, he's talking to Micaiah now. And Micaiah said, As the Lord liveth, what the Lord says unto me, that will I speak. He telling them that he is not going to back down. This is the reason I'm sitting up here telling you concerning these matters in the peoples today, that I will not back down. I will speak to the world and tell them what is required of them by God. Because in this year, I'm going to show you where I am in this same message where he is speaking to these prophets here. I'm going to show you where Jesus is in this same exact message and his two witnesses. Spoken of in Isaiah chapter 6, 1-13, the same prophecy is spoken right here, because these are the same exact thing that God spoke to me concerning this matter when I had gone to Danville, Illinois. Before I get to this part here, I'm going to tell you the vision that God given me in Danville, Illinois. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that I this say